You know, and
Well,
that
seems to me right now you have a kept woman. You're a sugar mama. It's really disturbing, you know, because this could go on forever.
For our relationship to survive at all, Jeymi is going to have to put forth some effort. Actions speak louder than words.
When do we truly know? And when I say when do we truly know, when do we truly know who is telling the truth and who is the liar? Because when it comes to Jeymi and it comes to Kris, they both have two different perspectives. But the sad part is we're trying to figure out which one we should be running with. Jeymi is out here convincing her mother that, Kris is out here convincing her mother that Jeymi, or at least giving her mother a perception that Jeymi is potentially using her for money, that she is Jeymi's sugar mama. But then at the same time, we've then got Jeymi now who's saying, but hold on a minute, you got me to leave my job. Hold on a minute. My argument isn't even about the money. My argument is the fact that I just want you to be here because we just got married and I haven't seen you in like 4 months. Interesting, isn't it? When you get two different people and they're giving you two different perspectives. Which one do you believe? Well, let's keep it going.
Parecía cuando estaban a través de un teléfono. Y ahora se desaparece por todo este tiempo.
My guy here makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Like when she was here, she was by her phone all the time. And then now she disappears. Like, if that's not skeptical, then what the hell was going on, right?
Yo puedo entender que ella tenga que trabajar, yo puedo entender que ella se sienta frustrada porque aquí ella no puede trabajar y se tenga que devolver a Estados Unidos a trabajar.
Let's just process this real quick. I mean, I don't know if anyone's ever been through this, but me, myself in particular, I've been through this where I've gone out on a date with someone. This was many years ago. You're with them, they're on their phone. You're not with them, they're not on their phone. At that point, I'm like, rah, this person ain't serious. I gotta keep it bouncing. I gotta keep it moving. But it's just crazy though, because before Kris left Alabama, Jeymi made it abundantly clear that she didn't want Kris to not come back. You know, like she wanted Kris to go AWOL again, because Kris has done that in the past. But at the same time though, this is where I pick a bone with Jeymi. Why marry someone that in the past has actually ghosted you and gone AWOL? Complete MIA. And hasn't proven to be better now. We continue.
Como excusa es que yo no puedo trabajar en Colombia. Tú me prometiste a mí crear un negocio de ambas al llegar acá.
This is the thing. We all witnessed it. 2 episodes back, I believe it was, or maybe the episode before. No, it was 2 episodes back. We witnessed it. They both went out to shop for buses with you know, for a diner, you know, whatever you call them things, man. The kitchen on wheels, you know what I mean? We saw that. So it was clear that they'd had a conversation previously about how they were going to make meet end in Colombia, how they were going to make money. Which makes a lot of sense to, because think about it, when Kris went back originally, it wasn't to go back for work, to go back for a refill of a medication. But all of a sudden now I need money. That just came out of nowhere, given the fact that when she was in Colombia the first time, she was meant to come with money, and then they were supposed to use that money to then buy this bus. And also at the same time, Jeymi was also working at the time. But Kris leaves, then tells Jeymi, hey, you can leave your job if you like. And then has a go when Jeymi leaves her job. But when Jeymi left her job, did Jeymi know that Kris was going to be gone for like 3 to 4 months? No. I'm pretty sure at the time when she left the job, in that conversation, it would have been, okay, I can leave the job, and then you be back here as soon as possible, and then we can start off our business together. That hasn't happened. So really and truly, when we talk about the question of who can we run with, which story are we going with? Are we going to back Kris? Or are we going to back Jeymi? Fact is, when it comes to Kris, there's always so many freaking loopholes in everything that she says. So really and truly, when you're looking at it with Jeymi, you're like, Jeymi looks like more to be the saint in this situation far more than Kris. And Kris, to be honest, has probably been manipulating her mother for years anyway. I mean, listen, we continue.
Porque tú no ibas a poder trabajar aquí. Al punto que me dijiste renuncia para que te dediques a mi negocio.
You see, it's crazy, isn't it? How Kris talks about, you know, you even got me to quit my job to fully dedicate to your business. So it's interesting because Kris says that Jeymi left the job because she told her she can leave the job if Jeymi was no longer happy being in the job. But Jeymi's saying that I left the job because, well, you told me that if I can leave the job and then we can fully dedicate to your business, the business of you being here in Colombia and us setting one together. And this is what I mean about the loopholes. This not the loopholes, the plot holes. Jeymi says one thing, Kris says another thing. But it always feels like what Jeymi's saying is way much more legit than what Kris is saying. Because at the end of the day, I can't imagine anyone leaving their job because somebody told them that you can leave a job if you want to, and then that was it. There was no explanation. There wasn't even a conversation about, okay, what we're gonna do, But you see Jeymi now, she's like, well, I left that job so we can fully dedicate, so I could help you and fully dedicate to your business. And that's the business of what they were supposed to do in Colombia, right? What other business would it be? Because Jeymi hasn't got any business happening in America. She got nothing happening in Alabama. She's already said that she's working from job to job to get this and that. And I do wonder though, because Kris keeps moaning about how she has to keep sending Jeymi money. I do wonder if she's really changing the money. What is she sending the money for? Is it really for the bills and all that kind of stuff, or is she meant to be sending her money to get the business up and going? I don't know what's going on here. All I know is that Kris has definitely worded it to us, the public, and also to her mother. That Jeymi is all about the money, money, money. When in reality, each time Jeymi speaks, she's always talking about, but I just want my wife to be here with me. I married you. I love you. I want to be with you. Come on, what's going on?
Sin trabajo y ella, tranquila, no hay problema. Y a los días, ¿qué ha pasado con tu trabajo? ¿Por qué no has conseguido trabajo? ¿Cómo es posible que en una ciudad tan grande tú no puedas conseguir trabajo? No es mi culpa ser inmigrante.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, personally, who do you believe? Do I believe that Kris then had a go at Jeymi for, I mean, 100%, 100%. I definitely believe this because Kris is always moaning about how Jeymi is allegedly moaning. But the Jeymi always looks very emotional whenever she's, trying to talk to Kris. Kris looks so like cold with it. She's like, oh, she's just moaning, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Jeymi's like breaking down, which tells me that clearly Kris has definitely been doing some kind of bullying, some kind of madness towards Jeymi to make her feel the way she's feeling. It's all there. It is all there, right there in front of our eyes, right here. Told me to leave my job. I left the job, and I left the job to dedicate to help you, but now you're not even back in the country. And then now I'm trying to ring you, and no one answers my phone calls, but when you were here, you was near your phone all the time. Kris, let's not forget, Kris has already been in 2 marriages, I believe. 2 divorces, I believe. This is now the 3rd one. I'm not gonna lie to you, if someone has got a serial record of marriages and divorces, I don't really want to be putting my money on them because clearly they've got issues that they haven't sorted out because they keep repeating the same thing again and again and again and again. Because really and truly, Kris decided to propose and marry Jeymi without even really meeting her. Like, she met her for the first time and said, boom, bam, we're gonna get married. Someone who would have learned from their previous marriages wouldn't have dived in to get married this quick. This is why, can I really back Kris and believe what Kris says? No. But we continue.
Estaba intentando.
Una vez que Kris me habló de nuestra situación financiera, me apuré en buscar un trabajo. Pero no es tan fácil como Kris piensa porque soy de Venezuela y...
Listen, I can understand this because in some countries, sometimes it's hard to get jobs if you're not from the country, depending on country and XYZ. But the matter of fact is, though, given that she's telling the truth, Kris makes it seem as if she didn't even try and get a job. Well, she obviously did. This is what she's saying, and then obviously this is what happened. And to be honest with you, I can understand this because, like I said before, this is something that generally does happen. It is not always easy for people to get a job in a different country when you're not from that country. But some countries do actually want to prioritize on giving their own people the job. Meanwhile, in the UK, though, they'll give that job to anybody else. Meanwhile, in the States, they'll deport everyone that's actually making the country great. You know what I mean? All the Mexicans that come through and really do all the hard labor and whatnot. You know what I mean? Do all the stuff that I guess people don't want to do that are American or whatever. And then once they've done it, they're like, yes, it, deportation. Like, oh my days, it's a crazy world that we're living, right? But in Colombia now, they're going other way around. They're like, nah, you ain't coming to taking our jobs. Nah, you go to Venezuela, man. We want the jobs here. We got to pay our own people. So to be fair, that is a thing. So there is truth to what she's saying. Like I said before, when Jeymi speaks, it just feels so truthful. Kris speaks, it feels so... it feels like someone's lying to you because that's what she does.
Y ella solo ha pagado 2 cuotas.
El apartamento está siendo un tema bastante conflictivo para mí.
So let me check this out. Kris be talking about how she's paying for where they're living and all that kind of stuff, but hold on a minute. Kris hasn't paid for up to two to 3 months. And also on top of that,
Yo sí escogí un apartamento más costoso, pero se suponía que yo iba a pagar el apartamento y yo pagué los servicios.
boom, bam. Kris has stopped contributing to the rent, and also Jeymi's the one who's been paying pretty much the utilities and XYZ. But yes, Kris will tell us that Jeymi ain't doing nothing, that Jeymi ain't lifting a single weight. no, sorry, a single finger. Like, come on. Like I said though, at the end of the day, we've got Kris's side, we've got Jeymi's side. It's a matter of which side you want to go with. For me personally, it keeps leading back to me to want to support Jeymi in the situation. But at the same time though, I was still hold her accountable for being dumb enough to want to marry someone that ghosted you way back and hasn't proven themselves. At the end of the day, when Jeymi found out that Kris was going to go back to the States, she should have been like, listen, you go back to the States first, and then when you come back, then we'll get married. But instead, Jeymi thought, if I marry you, then maybe that'll give you then maybe you have to come back to me. It's kind of crazy. You kind of married her for the wrong reasons, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? Why would you marry someone that you fear that if they go back home, they're not going to come back? You wait for them to come back first, and then you marry them. That's where Jeymi messed up. But now you're in this predicament. And to be honest with you, you can only blame yourself for that, because you know how Kris was going to behave. Kris, you're one devilish woman. But we continue.
O sea, yo siendo tú, obviamente yo hubiese terminado eso.
Sé que hay muchas personas que me llaman.
So why are you not calling it quits? Why are you not calling it quits? Honestly, when I watched this show, I said to myself, why did they even bother staying for that much longer? And to be fair with you, yes, we know that it's a TV show. Yes, we know that it is heavily produced and all that kind of stuff. But the saddest part about 90 Day Fiancé is that what we see is actually stuff that actually happens. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter, you know, whether the scenes are refilmed or they're told to say this or whatever. It doesn't matter, because this stuff here happens. We live in a world where toxic relationships last longer than healthy relationships. It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Kris me contestó el teléfono y me dijo que había comprado el tiquete de regreso para Bogotá.
So Kris has told her that she's bought a ticket and she's coming back to Colombia. Okay. And Jeymi wants to hear her out and give her a chance. Okay. Isn't it crazy how people can give people so many chances that they don't even deserve? Like I said before, these are things that actually do happen though. Even if their relationships may be fabricated a little bit for our entertainment, allegedly, these things happen. And I really wish that people that watch 90 Day Fiancé can not watch it in a point of, this is the same old stuff, or man, these guys are always all over the place or whatever. I really wish people could watch this with the perspective of, damn, this is allowing me to recognize that I was in this situation before and I can't be in again. Damn, this is making me recognize that I'm actually in this situation right now. I need to leave. Damn, this is preparing me that if I ever meet someone like this, I can avoid them and be like, nah, this ain't it. You know, I think people should really watch this show based on. I mean, listen, it's a show that's easy to hate, you know, and easy to watch with frustration. 100%. Not saying don't do that, but try and also put in a perspective in your mind where you can watch it as a learning as well. Because to be fair, it is called TLC, right? The learning channel. We're gonna learn anything about this is to learn that these relationships do happen, and we're gonna try and use these relationships as a tool to protect ourselves in some form of way. Hey, you guys let me know what you're thinking down below and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, sub, and of course, peace.